Rajiv, firstly, a warm welcome to you on Filme Shilmy. I think it's wonderful to be in conversation with you. I've been watching some of your works. I mean, during lockdown, you've had some great works emerge. Four more shots, please. 100, and now Ashram as well. So, has this been the successful phase you've always been striving towards?
Thank you so much, Anuj. Thank you for having me. Um it's just that, I was fortunate, like as an actor, one works for the longest time in the dark, right? Because before you get the films, the web series to showcase your skill or your talent, you're working in the dark. You're working on your craft every day. So, and like you said, every actor wishes to have many releases, back to back to back, and playing different characters. uh, I've been fortunate ki last year I shot for last year I shot for a lot of interesting stuff, a lot of stuff which I really wanted to be part of, and diverse stuff like four more shots. If the character I play there, Mihir, is so far removed from Akki in Ashram. So in that sense, I would say uh, I'm fulfilling why I wanted to be an actor, just to play different types of characters and live in their shoes. So uh, I'm grateful that so much work has come out during lockdown and people have seen it and appreciated it. And I just hope I can just keep, working and keep at it and be part of more interesting projects and work with people who genuinely just want to add, art and creativity to the world. So,
Yes,
yeah.
I think that's so very well summarized, and I think I'm really glad as well that you've had so many amazing works emerge and see you play so different characters all at once as well. I think the excitement is about to double as well because you also have Sitara, which
Think we are restarting shooting in November, so it'll probably release sometime next year.
mm,
Yeah, but because we finished the first schedule of it in Mumbai, it was again, it was, what can I say? Working with Vandana Kataria as a director, she's fabulous. She's and because I've been lucky again. It's amazing that I've worked on back to back projects with some very uh, clear directors. You know,
right,
their level of clarity as to what they want from an actor, from the character, is so precise that as an actor, I've seen growth in me. Working with Prakash Jha, working with Nupur, working with Vandana, you're realizing ki there's so much more to discover as an actor. And like in any field, one has to keep growing. You can't stagnate.
mm,
So, fortunately or unfortunately, during this, I mean, we've had a lockdown and there's corona all over across the world. But I have tried to use this time to work on my craft because,
right,
you can't just stagnate as a person and as an actor.
mm,
So, looking forward to that one because very interesting. Well, I'm sure you've read the 2 3 lines associated with that project. It's about love, acceptance, forgiveness, and the script. Every time I read the script, I have tears in my eyes. So that's the brilliant level of writing we have there, and
yeah.
I'm looking forward to that as well.
And I'm excited to see you be paired alongside Sobita Dulipala. I think she is an exceptional actor. I am in such awe of her as well. So, what was your experience like working with her in the film?
It was fantastic because the first time we actually met was for the film. I mean, and the great thing was we met during the workshop. So, you have some workshops so that, at least there's some clarity relating to the character. And, you discuss with the director and the workshop director. And it was great that we met during the workshop because there was no there was no facade there because we were bearing our souls straight away. I mean, our first meeting only was where we were doing some exercises and all of that, and we were trying to be as honest as possible to those exercises. And I think it was the best place and the best kind of meeting that I would have hoped for a first meeting with her. So in that sense, it was fantastic. And then I think once the foundation is good, then then you only build better. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So
No,
it's a lot of love. It's a lovely give and take with her. and it's good. I mean,
Wow,
yeah.
definitely sounds good. I mean, from the way you've explained the whole way you met her and stuff like that. So I'm really glad to hear that. And I think all of us are very much looking forward to seeing Sitara. It's just such a shame that it's not releasing anytime soon, and we have to wait until uh, till you finish shoot, and then hopefully, depending on where the world is at the moment, obviously that will all decide in when and how it will release. But Rajiv, I think speaking a bit more about you, I think it's been a very interesting journey for you because I feel like it's only recently, in the recent past, where you've had your main role as like the lead actor. I think that was with Romil and Jugal, I believe, which was on Old Balaji. So what?
Hmm.
So what matters to you the most? Is it the positioning of a role or is it the character itself? And how has that approach helped you excel as an actor?
A very interesting question. Anush. Thank you so much for asking that because, like I said, I was working at an investment bank, and when I had decided to, it was just an intuition. It was just a gut feeling, and I had to take that call. So when I decided to become an actor, I I knew for a fact that I made a decision that I have to work on my craft. I have to work on my skill. I'm not going to enter just like that because I think innately as a human being, I like working hard, and maybe I think that was the reason, possibly why I decided that I'm gonna pay my dues as an actor, and I'm gonna work towards it. Now, um, so basically, I left my investment banking job. I mean, I started doing theater. I still do theater, a lot of theater. So in theater, we play different characters, right? I mean, I could play a 95-year-old man, or I could play a 18-year-old. I mean, I could play different age types, different characters. I may not get those types on film or web series because there generally you get it according to your physical type as well, right? So I had decided that I will exactly. So I had decided that I would play interesting characters, and it was never in my head कि मुझे हीरो ही करना है. ऐसा
Huh,
नहीं था.
huh.
ऐसा नहीं था. It was that I will play interesting characters. If the script is good, if my character's arc is good, if my character's graph is good, and if my character can uh, affect a change over the course of the show or the film,
Hmm.
then I'm interested to do it. Right now, over a period of time, you realize sometimes after the initial bit. Uh, I think every actor would, likes to play a more important part in any series or any film, right?
Hmm.
But having said that, it's never been a conscious decision. I've always maintained कि मुझे अच्छे characters करने हैं, and somebody who won't get lost in the whole scheme. Like lead roles are coming, and more, I think, protagonists roles are coming to me right now. That's
Hmm. I think that's true actually because क्या होता है, I think whenever actors set out, there's always that ख्वाब, that desire to kind of become like the next Shah Rukh Khan and to become this big superstar. And I think it's great that people have that, and I think it's good that people should always dream of whatever they want to dream of. But I think sometimes it's also important
absolutely.
to be realistic as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, whatever drives you, right? Whatever really drives you as a person, you must be true to it. So for me, it is to be, it is to portray a character as honestly as I can, and with, like I said, once you start working on your craft and once you keep on doing more and more work. Now, when I revisit some of the work I've done in the past, I think most actors would do. They would be like, I'm like, यार यहाँ पर ऐसे नहीं बोलना चाहिए था, यहाँ पर ऐसे करना चाहिए था. You because of the knowledge you have now,
Yeah.
right? Because of the
Mm.
knowledge you have now, one can look back and be like, nahi, that's such a. I shouldn't have delivered the line like that. It should have been like this or that. But I guess whatever drives a person, right? I mean, we've heard it many times. If you just keep, um, if you're just dedicated towards what you're doing, ultimately the world, all the external successes about fame, money, popularity, etc., will come to you. But yeah, for me, it's always been the work. कि जो काम मिले उसको बहुत ही मतलब शिद्दत से करो, अच्छे से करो, with dedication and hard work, and well, that's what drives me. So
जी बिल्कुल बिल्कुल आई थिंक बहुत सारे जो एस्पायरिंग एक्टर्स हैं जो अभी फिलहाल आपको देख रहे हैं आई थिंक वो भी इस बात से सीख सकते हैं कि वो अपने काम से के साथ शिद्दत रख सके और पूरी sincerity के साथ काम कर सके, you know, and I think that's what's important. It's about giving it your all and being honest to what you are, and I think that's definitely something which I definitely vouch for as well. But I think to break through on your own, it must have been a very, very difficult journey for you, though, right? I mean,
oh,
from that shift between investment banking to acting, I mean, it's not exactly like you walking to a nearby grocery shop. I mean, it must have been quite a tough challenge. So, how did you manage that?
I just the other day I was just thinking back at the trials and tribulations that I had, like I had faced, and I kid you not, it feels like as if it is part of a past life or something, because I promise, I mean, when you hear, but like you said, if somebody who has, who doesn't have any connection in the film world and doesn't know how it works and all of that, and is just going by their gut instinct, it is difficult. It's crazy because you don't know किसके पास जाना है काम के लिए. You don't know who are the casting directors. You don't know who is doing what, and there's so much, chaos in the beginning, right? Because all my life, I mean, I've come from a मतलब मैंने MBA किया एजुकेशन, मैंने फिर Edelweiss में नौकरी की instant banking. It was like structured, right? But here there's not, it's not structured in the sense कि in our film world, it's not structured in the sense कि अच्छा पहले step 1, step 2, step 3. It's all, it's moving in different directions all the time, right? तो मुश्किल तो था because I remember going for ad auditions, and initially आपको पता भी नहीं होता कि कहाँ क्या हो रहा है, आपको किसी ने बस बोल दिया, one of your friends has just told you कि अच्छा वहां पर एक ऑडिशन हो रहा है, go. So you go for it without knowing what are they looking for, what kind of character they're looking for, what's the height, weight, look they're looking for. And it was very disheartening. I used to hear of these stories, but when it happened it breaks your heart because you're standing in the line after, like, there are 70-80 people before you. You're standing in the line, you're waiting patiently for your turn. और 2 घंटे बाद, 2 ढाई घंटे बाद जब आपका समय आता है, and when the casting assistant opens the door and he looks at you, and there are other people obviously standing there with you, and he looks at you and says, sorry, you don't fit. It hurts, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that ruthless?
Yeah, I mean, and you can't blame them. It is like that because they have limited time to test, and but I have, in the first few years, I think I've had probably 25-30 experiences like that. Now, and at the same time when I was starting out, one of my friends was applying for an MBA, and I remember him calling me one night and telling me, and he was very, like, he was sad, depressed, not depressed, but he was sad, and he was teary eyed, and he said कि Rajiv यार, मेरा 3 जगह से वो rejection आया है, and I genuinely felt like telling him, भाई यहाँ पर हर दिन 5 जगह reject होना पड़ता है, so chin up, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it was, I mean, it's not easy, and that's why the only thing which drives one is passion, is just, it's intangible. One can't talk about it because you can't, it's very difficult to talk about passion and quantify it, right? But it's just that thing from within ki yaar karna hai, and it just so happens that you meet the right people at the right time, and it just, no matter how difficult I mean, it was difficult, and like I said, I can't imagine some of the things that I had to go through, but I think if your intent is good, somehow doors and windows and everything start opening up for you whenever the time is right, I feel.
Yeah. Wow. I think that's
but
so
yeah,
awesome.
like I said, when somebody, but it's like when somebody just looks at you up and down and says not fit, it's just heartbreaking, man.
Yeah.
So
I can't even imagine. But you know what? But you telling me all of this, I mean, it's shocking but not surprising. I mean, I'm not surprised. Like, it's shocking because, like, aisa hota hai. But I think after everything we've heard about the real, like, telltales of the industry, I don't think anything surprises me anymore. I mean, are you surprised by things that happen in the industry, or are you just or you just get on with it and you just kind of turn a blind eye to it and carry on what you do, what you need to do?
No, no, but for me, it's very simple. Like, I know why I am here. I know what drove me to be an actor, and I genuinely, I try and focus on my craft. I think it is important. And I remember when I, again, like I said, when I was just about to start, I met a very senior actor, an actor who I respect a lot, and he told me, कि अपनी real life को keep it as simple as possible and get all your intensity out in your acting. And I'm glad that I met somebody like that when I was just starting out, because that has stuck with me, because that's the way I try and live my life.
Mm,
Just to अपने काम पे ध्यान दो और बाकी सब चीज simple यार, because I think we all
absolutely.
have to choose as to how we live our lives, and that's what I do. Yeah.
Oh, yes, indeed, indeed. And I'm really glad that the senior actor advised you as that, because I think a lot of people can lose their heads and everything when they come in as well, because it's quite overwhelming, I believe. So I can definitely imagine that. But I think Romil and Jugal was a very beautiful series. A lot of actors usually, when it comes to playing homosexual characters, are very apprehensive and skeptical of choosing such a role. Were you apprehensive at all?
Not at all, because see, director, script, character, three things matter the most. Director was Nupur Asthana, whose work I had seen, and whose manner of working I had heard about. The way she directs. The script was fantastic. It was very, very well written, and my character's graph was superb. So मेरे लिए ये था कि भाई, it was so. For me, I just wanted to, do as much justice to the story as I can. And fortunately for us, we had, I think, probably a month of workshops and readings, etc., with the entire cast and everybody. And I believe in energy, uh, uh,
Mm,
which you can't, again, which you can only sense, right? The vibe and all of
right.
that.
Mm,
And I just feel, exactly, everybody involved in that production, cast, crew, everybody, the energy was so superb that maza aa gaya tha yaar. As in, it was a great time working on Romel and Jukkal. It was
mm,
fantastic. And Nupur, and thank God Nupur was directing, because again, she has a very sensitive way of dealing with things. So it was.
yes. I'm really glad you mentioned this as well, because I feel sometimes when you see same-sex relationships or homosexual characters or any character which is associated with the LGBTQIA community, I feel they're very heavily stereotyped, and it's just really regressive, and it's really scary because some try to promise and say, oh, it's progressive, but actually in a way it's very regressive, and it's quite pseudo with the way they represent that. So what is your view on the way same-sex relationships are portrayed in Indian cinema, and how do you think this can improve?
But I think recently I feel
Yeah.
same sex relationships in web series. I think uh, probably Made in Heaven,
In
I think,
heaven.
was
Yeah.
one,
Mm.
right? And even the other stuff I've seen, I think there is a more conscious, I think, decision taken by filmmakers to portray it in a good light. I mean, to portray sensitively, like you said, not make a
Mm.
caricature out of things, and not make it heavy. Just to, I think, off late people are doing. I, I think the responsibility upon by directors and producers in showing same-sex relationships. I think it's going in the right direction now. I feel,
Mm.
because Made in Heaven showed it in a very sensitive light. It was as sensitive and as real as possible, you know,
Mm.
without any jarring particular. So I think now, of what do you feel? What do you feel? Don't you think so? Like, of
Well,
late.
I think so. I think it's been a beacon of change that's been going on for quite some time. I mean, it began, I think, in Indian cinema in specific. I think Ek Ladki Ko Dekha we had, which kind of broke the glass ceiling. It, dealt with same-sex relationships, at the forefront, without it candy coating anything. And it also talked a bit about the struggles as well that that the community faces as well. So I think you're right. There's definitely progression. I think the only issue is why has it taken so long? I think that's definitely something that I kind of feel a bit. Meh. I wish it kind of happened a lot quicker.
But as long as it is happening,
Yeah,
I mean,
sure, sure.
yeah.
Dhire Dhire. It's slowly changing, and I think that's what we can ask. I mean, look, Shubh Mangal Zada Savdhan as well. I mean, I know that was a comedy, but still, it was very brave, and I think I'm really glad that we have films like that that kind of sort of challenge and sort of break the glass ceiling, so to speak, as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
But from the onset of your career, I mean, the digital medium seems to have played quite a major role in your emergence as an actor as well. Had it not been for the OTT, how different do you think things would have been?
If OTT wasn't there,
Yeah.
I dread to think. I dread. But because thank God for it. Yeah, like I said, uh, when I started my career as an actor, OTT probably came in 2 3 years late, like 1 or 2 3 years later. And like I said, अगर आपका intent clear अच्छा है, मतलब correct है कि
Hmm.
भाई आपको acting क्यों करना है, आपको ये क्यों करना है, and doors and windows open for nobody had known about this OTT thing, right?
Yeah.
But it just so happened that oh, there was another um, platform for everybody to showcase their talent and skill, right?
Hmm.
So thank God. I mean, sometimes I dread कि भाई अगर ये नहीं होता तब क्या होता? I'm sure तभी भी भगवान ख्याल रख लेता.
Huh.
But है ना? But thank God because and I remember somebody asking me in an interview कि what do you think about what if it bursts this bubble or she no, but then I said कि no, I said the thing is कि it just so happens that सबके पास फोन है आजकल, सबके पास well है ना, इंटरनेट कनेक्शन है अपने फोन पे या 3G 4G सबके पास है,
Hmm.
and therefore it will be very difficult for this bubble to burst because that is the main form people are consuming entertainment now these days, right?
Hmm.
Like through the internet and through their phones, and they're traveling, they're on a train or they're in a car or they're in a taxi, they're like they're consuming content over the internet. So I told the interviewer that I don't think it will, because I think it is the present and the future, right? And thank God uh, for it. Because I think what the OTT has done is it has provided uh, you know provided a
A
platform for
lifeline.
many more and many more interesting stories which may not have been be able to be told on in the theaters, and
Hmm.
provided so much more matlab, employment, yeah, to actors, writers, directors, to the technicians, to everybody. So
Hmm.
God bless it. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And it's interesting. I always have this sort of discussion with actors, and when I say this, I do feel like the audience's approach in watching certain content on OTT does change significantly if you're watching a film in cinema. I do feel like there is that distinction there. Would you agree, or do you think the audience is pretty much open to
I,
everything and anything?
hmm, I think I think Indian cinema in general and Indian content in general is going towards a very good direction. You know,
Mm.
we have some very interesting filmmakers. We have some very interesting series that have come up, and I think because of the internet and because of globalization and because if I want to see something which is made in America, I can see it instantly, right? I think the audience has become so well informed that, and they know ki bhai, what is quality, right? So therefore, so now we can't show them something at below par quality and expect them to like it because we have assumed certain things about our audience. No, I think the audience is very very intelligent, and because they're consuming like quality stuff from all across the world,
Mm.
you know so therefore we also have to make, I mean, our series and our shows and our films have to be of great quality, and I think the audience, uh, I don't, in my opinion, I don't think there wouldn't be a difference in the mindset of somebody watching something in the theater and something in the OTT space. I think now what the audience expects is good content and a good story, and we've seen that with lots of great stories in the theaters. They have done so well because the story was so good, right? And they may not have had like the box office stars or something, but the films did well. So I think the audience has become mature and the audience has grown, and they expect great stuff. And I hope we can keep churning out great work.
Very well said. Very well said. And I think that's very true as well. But before lockdown happened, I believe you were traveling and doing a few plays as well. Before the pandemic had occurred. So, how do you think the performing arts like theatre will be impacted by the pandemic? And what do you think will be the need of the hour to kind of bring it back and give it that boost again?
I mean, that is a question all of us are thinking about really, because because as an actor, performing on stage is another feeling, because there the response is immediate, right? If you know there is a funny situation on stage, instantly the audience will burst out into laughter. So instantly you're getting the feedback, right there. So I think that's, and also thank God I started from theater, because
Yeah.
वहीं पर craft पे वो हुआ. मुझे I just I mean, can plays happen with social I mean, if cinema halls can open, let's assume, with social distancing, right?
Mm.
I'm sure in the theater as well, there can be social distancing, because cinema hall में अगर आप सिर्फ 2 सीट कर रहे हैं और दो के जो भी the maintain social distancing, right? For instance, if you're keeping 2 seats and a gap of 2 seats and 2 people sitting, अगर ऐसा कर रहे हैं, that can be done in the space of theater as well. So
Mm.
whatever changes which happen in like cinema, if if those changes can be implemented in the theater as well, till the pandemic, hopefully there should be some vaccination. Hopefully there should be some solution sometime close by. So if the pandemic still is going on, then I think the only way would be, like I said, the changes which are implemented in cinema be implemented in the theater as well. Like social distancing karke aap dekho, because
Mm.
yeah, like we haven't done a play for the past since Feb March, I think. So it's been
Wow.
a while.
It's been a while, and it's interesting as well because I think the similar approach can work as well. Even for as performers as well, you can still distance yourselves and perform accordingly as well. I think when it comes to performances, I mean, audience-wise, yeah, you've got that problem sorted with the gaps between where they can sit. But as performers as well, I presume you'll need to have different sort of approaches as well, right?
But yeah, but then as performers, if you don't want, if you have to maintain social distancing while acting, then scripts will have to be written accordingly.
Ah,
And then, varna, because you can't expect a husband and wife to maintain social distance if they are on the bed. No.
exactly.
So it's just that. So therefore, yeah, so scripts will have to be written, and and it is possible. Yeah, matlab, I think it is. I've seen films where they've used only one room.
Hmm.
I think it was 12 Angry Men or 12 Angry Men. It's just most of the film is shot in one room, and I'm like, and it's so captivating. And then you realize ki if the writing is good, thank God for great writers. If the writing is good, then बहुत आसान हो जाता है काम, to yeah. So
Writing is always the king, as they say. But I think
yeah,
post Sitara, what else can we look forward to from you?
I think all the part twos and part threes of all the series that I have done. But Sitara, I'm looking forward to Sitara because November में हम शुरू कर रहे हैं फिर से.
Hmm.
And there are a lot of interesting stuff. But like I said, कि the more you are focused in the now, I guess, and giving all the attention now, खुद ब खुद future, the future which is best for you comes. So I used to make this. I mean, this used to be a bad habit of mine, like 4 5 years back, where you project a lot in the future, and you're like, इस साल मुझे ये मिलेगा, then
Ah,
this and that, and we are always let down, right? We're always let down because God has other plans for you.
hmm,
So for me, uh, right now the focus is on Sitara,
hmm.
and there's another project which I'm dubbing right now. I can't talk about it. तो
Ooh.
उसका हो रहा है, हाँ. But I just I just hope, like, the success of all the series this year and last year can just, I'm looking to do great work, yeah, and I mean, and to put 100% of myself into that work. So I just hope ऐसा ही काम मिलता जाए.
Hmm. Well, I'm sure plenty of good work is going to come your way, Rajiv. I think, I
Thank
think
you
you're
so
very
much.
talented, and I genuinely believe that there's so much more we can see from you as an actor as well. And you have a very good screen presence as well on screen, when we see you as well. And I think all these factors do contribute towards your success as an actor so far. And I'm really hoping that this wonderful phase continues as well in the future.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Anand.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much, Rajiv, for joining me on Filme Shilmy, and I can't wait for your next projects to come out so we can have a catch-up session once again.
Thank you so much, Anuj. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Rajiv. Thank you.
Thank you.